Hey everybody in social media, this is Denny Booberg here with Fox 23 and is an ongoing part of our Fridays with Fox series. We're here visiting with Sean Harris from Hancock Whitney, and we'll talk a little bit about why we're visiting with Sean here in just a second. But as you probably know or have probably heard in the media, environment and conservation and just better management of the world around us is really a key part of the conversation in our world today. And Sean is actually one of the leading figures here in the Pine Belt as far as that goes. So Sean, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Denny. Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Well, I understand you play a very big role with the Piney Woods Conservation Group. So can you tell us a little bit about you, your role, and what Piney Woods does?
Yeah, I will. So shameless plug for my employer, Hancock Whitney, that's allowing us to be here today. During the day, I'm a banker. At night, and a lot of times during the day, I do a lot of community projects as well. And one of the ones that I'm really passionate about and is taking a lot of my time and focus right now is Piney Woods Conservation Group, which is a 501c3 nonprofit conservation organization that's based here in Hattiesburg. And we kind of do work all across the Pine Belt area. Our main program is Pine Belt Blueways, which is a great partnership with Visit Hattiesburg, the city, the county, and a number of private businesses, municipal governments kind of across the Pine Belt, which is promoting the Leaf and the Bowie rivers for outdoor recreation, and then stewardship of those rivers and that entire watershed. So our goal in that is to try to get people paddling the Bowie and the Leaf rivers and really adjacent creeks, rivers, tributaries, hopefully to fall in love with those waterways and then work to protect them, whether that's inland in our city streets, because everything flows to a creek and to a river, and then just enjoy time in nature and think about the footprint that we have and what we're leaving behind with our everyday activities.
Well, you mentioned stewardship a second ago. So either through the Blueways project or through just your day-to-day with the conservation group, what kind of trends are you seeing as like the most critical, like, okay, this is a big problem kind of area, or like this is something that needs a little bit more focus? Maybe? Yeah,
so when we kind of started the Piney Woods Conservation Group in 2018 to kind of launch the Blueways, once you kind of get out on a waterway or you're hiking a trail, the first thing that really shocks you is the amount of litter that's out there in the world. And that is some watershed stuff. So that's rivers and creeks that kind of flow and pick up trash on the side. And then there's a lot of people that just don't dispose of their litter properly. They're at a city park, they're on a hiking trail, they're paddling a creek or a river, and they don't think about that one bottle, that one piece of food packaging. So litter is a really significant issue in our communities, in nature and wild places. So that's a big targeted focus for us. We've got a fleet of buckets and grabbers. I have a bucket and grabber in my car pretty much at all times, or my floorboard just makes perfect use for trash as I'm kind of going around the world. So litter is kind of the main target for us because we want people to have a really great experience when they're out exploring nature. And the last thing we want people to see on the waterways or on a hiking trail is a bunch of trash. It kind of takes away from that experience and kind of that human impact. But we're into all kinds of citizen science, so opportunities for regular individuals like me. I have a marketing degree, I'm a business major, I've been a banker my whole career. So I'm not trained in wildlife biology or environmental science, but there's great ways with citizen science just to kind of do some limited training and understanding, reading books, partnering with organizations that we partner like Adventure Scientists or Mississippi Water Stewards through Mississippi State Extension to kind of like help you take a step back and think about that footprint. And then those are great volunteer opportunities to kind of have a small role in either data collection or trash cleanup or water quality testing. So we're into a lot of that stuff, making sure our waterways are clean for people to recreate, cleaning out trash and watershed, and then doing a lot of advocacy work around it. But
awesome. So for the average person out there who gets involved, because you're knee deep in it, what do you think is the thing that when they first get involved, they're like, oh, wow, I didn't realize that? What's that kind of thing that maybe hits somebody like that?
Yeah, I mean, so the biggest thing is when we talk about Pine Belt Blueways and kind of paddling our rivers and creeks, a lot of people don't know we've got a map here of the Pine Belt Blueways, and it's 52 miles of waterway between.
Wow. That's a lot of waterway,
and that's just what's marked. We've got kiosks, and we've marked those areas with kiosks and information, so you can kind of see like what you're coming to. But a lot of people drive over the Leaf and the Bowie River over 59 and 49 every day, and they look over the edge and they kind of see these beautiful rivers, and they don't know that they have access to them. So it's really shocking when we get somebody out on the river, either through a cleanup that we've partnered with Southern Prohibition, like for Earth Day cleanup, and we had 60 people on the water.
That's
and
impressive.
More than the majority had never been on the Bowie or the Leaf before in their lives, and they kind of see this natural wonder and the beauty of nature in the serene place, and it's literally 5 minutes from their doorstep. I mean, it flows right through downtown, right through Chain Park, where we have Star Spangled Celebration. And so you kind of see it on the periphery, but being able to experience it in a kayak or a canoe is it's life-changing. It really is. I mean, that might sound a little dramatic, but it really does change your scope of kind of the world and where we are and how easy nature is to access. So that's kind of a mind-blowing moment.
Well, talking about nature, I want to change gears real quick.
Yeah.
So wildlife encounters.
Okay.
How much do you guys engage on that front?
Well, Denny, I know you, so you know that I'm obsessed with reptiles.
Yeah.
Particularly snakes and turtles. So one thing that really got me into that was I'm a turtle transporter and did that a lot like during COVID. So Central Mississippi Turtle Rescue is a great nonprofit wildlife rescue. They focus on mostly turtles and tortoises. They're in the Jackson area in Richland, and they at any time house 300 to 400 turtles who have been struck by cars, attacked by dogs, run over with a lawnmower, maybe find them in a creek or ditch, and like we have in Gordon's Creek, either covered in leeches, so they're a little anemic, or one that's got a chemical burn from some kind of paint or toxin or bleach that was dumped into the creek. And so that has kind of encouraged and motivated me to learn more about reptiles. And then I'm pretty obsessed with snakes. And so I'm kind of a local expert on identifying snakes. And in fact, I'll be doing a reptile presentation with Freedom Ranch next weekend. Really excited about that. A little nervous too, but you can have as much interaction with nature as you want to. Usually wildlife out in the world are not gonna bother you, come to you. You're a big scary creature. So it's awesome to kind of see them from a distance. So when we paddle, we see a lot of great wildlife, a lot of birds. We see great blue herons and red-shouldered hawks and maybe a red-tailed hawk. We've seen bald eagles on the Bowie.
Really?
We've seen kingfishers are really fun.
Okay.
They fly low, they bob up and down, and they have a great kind of yell, screech. I'm not gonna do it on camera today.
Probably not.
But lots of turtles. And so what's really great about the Leaf and the Bowie, it's all part of the Pascagoula River system, which is really the largest undammed, unimpeded body of water in the lower 48 states. So outside of Canada, Alaska, and Hawaii, it's the largest body of water that's unimpeded. So it's really considered a natural world wonder. There are books, conservationists, biologists, naturalists who have compared it to the Amazon for its just true natural beauty. The fact that it's has not been touched by humans too much, and the biological diversity in that river system is really amazing. So it's home to Gulf sturgeon, which are endangered. They spawn on the Bowie near Glendale. So USM's Marine Fisheries Group does a lot of testing and tagging. So there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, the fish, the aviary. You'll see snakes and turtles and beaver and otter, and it's a great interaction.
Okay. Well, obviously, blue water is not going away anytime soon. But what's next on the docket for you all?
Yeah, I mean, it's been. I guess we got founded in 2018, so we've been around 6 years, and kind of we've been setting up a lot of organizational structure. We're all volunteers, so we have a great board, 9 board members. Some are biologists, landscape architects, employees with the city of Hattiesburg with sustainability and arts. And so we're trying to do this outdoor recreation piece and delve into more of a conservation focus, because our goal is to get more just regular people involved in true conservation, whether that's planting native plants, adding more to our pollinator setup. We look at the food web and think how important it is for birds to have insects to eat, and for insects to have something to eat. Then we need native plants that are providing good pollen sources for them. We're working with the Leadership Pine Belt group right now on one of our hit list top 10 buckets of adding litter collection devices in the creek. So a Leadership Pine Belt group just raised about $11,000 or $12,000 to install, to build, manufacture, purchase litter booms and trash traps that we're installing in the creeks in the next couple of weeks. So we do a lot of tactical cleanups in Gordon's Creek, in the Leaf River, in the Bowie River. Gordon's Creek is the drainage ditch for the city of Hattiesburg, and it used to be very natural, and still some of those sections are. Some of it's been engineered to kind of help with flood control, but it's a common source of litter, and maybe some dumping, but mostly watershed. When the water gets up, it picks up trash. You throw a cup into a parking lot, everything's designed to drain into that. So it's in a parking lot, it ends up in a ditch, it gets to Gordon's Creek, goes to the Leaf River, goes to the Pascagoula, ends up in the Mississippi Sound, and then you see litter pollution in a plastic island out there in the Gulf of Mexico or in the ocean. So we took that responsibility pretty significantly, and we're installing litter devices in the creek to kind of catch that trash as it flows in. So we'll have to have some manpower to monitor those and get trash out, but we have no issues kind of putting that together. We do a lot of advocacy work with our municipal government partners, and the city of Hattiesburg and Forest County have been great partners. We've worked with them on 2 different Mississippi Outdoor Stewardship Trust Fund grants to make real improvements to 2 boat ramps. So the Sims Road boat ramp that's in the city limits, and then the one at Glendale Avenue that's in the county, to give people easier access to the water. So those boat ramps are in really bad shape. They haven't been maintained at the level they need to be. They're too steep. There's no parking. There's no turnaround. So there's no lighting, camera, security. So we're making a lot of improvements from an amenity standpoint to encourage people to get out and to make it easier for people to drop a boat in the water. So those are some of the things that we've got on the horizon.
So real quick, if somebody out there in our social media land wants to learn more, or reach out and connect and just talk details, how would they do that?
Yeah, so Piney Woods Conservation Group and Pine Belt Blueways both have Facebook pages. Pine Belt Blueways also has an Instagram page. So we're pretty active in posting. We just hired a good friend and a local artist, Bridget Prater-Smith, to kind of help us with our media. Visit Hattiesburg has done all of our branding, a lot of our communication materials, our kiosk design that you'll see at every boat ramp, so you'll kind of know what you're getting into. And then we just launched a newsletter through our website. So you can go to our website, pinebeltblueways.com. You can sign up for our newsletter. So we keep people informed through email blasts and email newsletters. You can kind of see all of our social links there. We've got some great opportunities to get more involved in citizen science. We're looking for water stewards, so people that want to go out and do some water sampling. It's actually a lot simpler than what it sounds. It's just in the summer, it's kind of a weekly commitment, and we want the more people we have, the more water we can test. And that's a great partnership with Mississippi Water Stewards. And then we really just want to kind of create more conversation around conservation, stewardship, outdoor recreation, waterways, hiking. So we've just started doing a book club. We'll have hopefully another book club in October, but we had Ernest Herndon, who wrote Canoe in Mississippi, which is the ultimate paddling guide for the state of Mississippi. He wrote that in the early 2000s. He just wrote another book called Paddleways of Mississippi. So we had him in town at the author shop for a book signing and a discussion around his book, which is kind of a historical perspective of our waterways. So we're looking at doing Nature's Best Hope by Doug Ptolemy to talk about kind of what we can do as individuals to kind of help conservation in our own yards. So we'll be looking at doing that in October. And then we plan to launch what we call green drinks, just kind of socials, probably at Southern Prohibition. Ben Green and Emily at SoPro and Quimby are good friends of ours and big supporters of the Blue Ways, where we just kind of get people together, light agenda, maybe somebody who's in an organization kind of talk about what they do, but really just kind of get people thinking about all of these topics we talked about today, but recycling and plastic and the footprint that we leave and composting and whatever they're passionate about that is good for the environment. So be looking for those things to come out, and as those do, it'll be in our newsletter.
Awesome. Well, Sean, thank you for taking the time out to visit with us.
Thanks, Tim.
About all your conservation projects and efforts and ongoing. And thank you to our friends out in social media world for tuning in again for Fridays with Fox, as we try and highlight different projects and people and goings on that are helping to continue to push Hattiesburg forward to be the community that we are striving to be, and being just community friendly across the board. A sneak peek of a episode, if you will, that we have coming down the road. If you have ever been a part of the Hattiesburg geocaching tour, or you have ever taken part in that and you have enjoyed it, Sean is the man that helped, one of the key figures to help orchestrate that. And we'll be visiting with Sean again a little down the road to get more of the behind the scenes about that tour and how you can take advantage of that as well. Thank you for joining us.